Nobody likes waiting at the post office, especially me. That's why I'm recommending Stamps.com to you. With Stamps.com, buy and print official U.S. postage using your own computer and your printer. It's so quick, it's easy. Getting started takes less than 5 minutes. After that, get postage for all of your letters and packages the instant you need it, and the mailman picks it all up. You'll never have to go to the post office again, or lease one of those expensive postage meters. I love Stamps.com. So convenient. Great way to save time and money. Right now, Stamps.com has a special offer for my listeners. No risk trial, plus a $110 bonus offer, includes a digital scale and up to $55 free postage. But only if you enter my last name, Mohr, M-O-H-R. Don't wait. Go to Stamps.com before you do anything else. Click on the radio microphone at the top of the homepage and type in M-O-H-R. That's Stamps.com. And then click in M-O-H-R. Stamps.com. It's a winner. Hey, everybody. Hey, don't fast forward over this part. For real, I got to tell you something. Go to jmohr.com and click the Amazon.com banner and go to Amazon and buy stuff for yourself. That's really what I want for you out of life, is for you to buy things for you. It is helping the podcast a lot. And thank you. And tweet me the strange things that you purchased with photos or it didn't happen.
Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game tape.
Donuts.
I want to work with you a lot.
Oh, yeah!
John August is our guest on Mohr Stories. I don't think I've seen you in 20 years?
As I was driving over, I was trying to think how long it's been since I've seen you. Maybe it was up like on the mountain for the Go premiere. Have I seen you since then?
It was at Sundance, and it was you and I. I remember it was a huge party, and I don't think you were drinking. I know I wasn't drinking, and you and I were like in a stairwell in the super swanky, fancy like lodge house. And everybody was just getting pie-eyed. It was very Gatsby-esque and odd. And you and I were just like, what's going on?
It was a strange night. It was Doug Liman's family, I think, had rented that house. And like Doug, of course, was like skiing in and skiing out. He would like ski out naked. And it was a very Doug Liman-y kind of experience. But I remember talking to you about your giraffe tattoo.
Yeah.
And family tragedies and other things like that.
You wrote the movie Go. John August, prolific, to say the least. We speak about you a lot. Brian Koppelman spoke very highly of you. Chris Columbus loves the way you write. So if ever you want to write something for a guy that does movies where people ride broomsticks for 167 days, he's your guy.
I'm set.
He's your guy.
Come on, Adventures in Babysitting? Let's look at that. Undersung movie.
He did. No, he didn't.
He did Adventures in Babysitting.
No.
I would swear he did. Well, we got a computer here, so we're going to look
Chris
this up.
Columbus, you want to bet?
I will bet $20 that he did this.
Fair
I may
enough.
not have $20 in my wallet, but I will bet $20.
All right, you can mail it.
Okay.
You got to give your fake mustache back.
Absolutely.
It's $20. You get the handlebar. You get the
I'll-
Raleigh fingers.
I picked the handlebar mustache. I will PayPal you the money if I'm wrong.
When you wrote Go, this is what fascinates me with screenwriters, because I've only written things that have happened to me, so I know where it starts and where it ends, like Saturday Night Live or going through fertility treatments and having a baby. But like, how do you know when you write the movie Go? How do you know, especially since it was like your first real your first studio thing? How do you know
when it was shot? Nothing had been made first. That was the first thing I actually.
Not God.
God was shot after Go. Actually,
okay.
That was with Melissa. So
how do you know when you're done? I would think you would get incredible OCD about not letting it go.
You know, I wrote Go as a short film. That first section of the movie was meant to be a short film. I wrote it for a friend to direct. He never got off his ass and directed it, so it just sat there. But I knew everything else that happened in it. So I knew who Adam and Zach were. I knew that they were a couple, but it wasn't important to be talking about that in the little short thing. And so over time, I just went back and filled in everything else. And she's got her answers. Was I right on Chris Columbus?
All right, I'll give you $20.
All right.
You got it's in the all right. All right.
Ah!
Chris Columbus. Really? Wow. You think you know a guy. The dishes are done, man.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So I wrote this little short film, and then we never got it directed. And so just over time, it sat there, and like I knew kind of what else happened that night, and so I just restarted it, and that was the first movie that we got shot.
Which part was the part that was the short story part, and what part did you have to create to make it an hour and a half?
The short film version of it is exactly the first third of the movie. So
I haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah. So basically the stuff that you're not in,
yeah,
it was all there. No, so it's still Adam and Zach showed up to the grocery store to buy the, to make the little deal. And they hit Ron at the end, but they just drove off. You never sort of saw what happened to them again. And so I knew that you guys were a couple, and I knew all the backstory. But there was no reason to put it in the short film. But in the big film, we could put all that in there.
So Tim Oliphant, Katie Holmes, Melissa McCarthy.
All brand new people.
All brand new people.
Yeah.
And you really, when you look back at Go, it has become like this bizarre, it's almost like the Saturday Night Live, where you go like, wow, all these people came from... it didn't launch, but it certainly was a lot like Tim Oliphant, Melissa McCarthy.
It gathered together a bunch of these people who you wouldn't have otherwise seen. It's hard to believe they're all in the same movie. What's weird is when people watch it now, when like young people watch it now, they're like, well, why wouldn't you just call her friend? Like, what did she have a cell phone? It's like, because people didn't have cell phones. It was hard to explain to people that everyone didn't have cell phones at all times.
Back in the day.
Back in the late 90s, not everyone had a cell phone.
We had smoke signals.
Yeah, and pagers.
It's a really well-written movie, but what's fascinating to me about you is like you do Charlie's Angels, you do Titan AE. Were I, O, U, and Y upset that they weren't in the title of Titan AE?
I think they were. Titan AE, when I worked on it, was called Planet Ice. That movie went through so many iterations.
Should have stayed Planet Ice, would you say?
I don't know.
It's a weird what is AE? Artificial Intelligence?
After Earth.
Oh.
They sort of explained that during
That's a good title, After Earth.
Yeah. That would have been a great title. Yeah.
How do you go? You started doing like these small, like day in the life. Like this is Zach, this is Adam, this is Tim Oliphant with the dice tattooed to his neck. I already have a fucking swatch. Claire, answer the question, Claire.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden you're doing like these enormous movies.
What was so weird about Go is that so we wrote it and put it together as a tiny little small movie. And I don't think you even know some of this backstory, but. When we were putting together the financing for the movie, we had these international financiers, and they said, well, we like the script, but we really need a white male star aged 35 to 45 to anchor this thing. And so they sent over this list of like 20 guys, and like Kevin Costner or somebody, and like no one was going to be in this movie. And so we went after all those people to try to get them in the movie, but there wasn't a part for them. And so our financing fell apart. You know that we lost all our money.
No, I have no idea.
So you were already cast, but we lost all of our money, and it was just like on a Monday afternoon. And so we shut down, and so we said, like, okay, we're going to like try to find, $5.5 million in like the next 24 hours so we can keep going.
I had no idea that any of this happened. So you're telling me you guys, how much money was raised initially? Are you recording this? It's important that when you do a podcast, you record it. That's really the key to enjoying your podcast, to paraphrase Peter Falk and the In-Laws. Are you interested in joining? The benefits are terrific. The key is to not get killed. That really is the key to enjoying your benefits. Yeah. I had no idea that any of this happened. How much money was originally raised to shoot the movie Go?
Okay, so Go was supposed to be this internationally financed little movie, and we were going to sell it at Sundance or sell it someplace else when everything was done. And so we only were going to have this foreign financing. It was going to cost about $5.5 million. So this tiny company, Banner,
Banner Entertainment,
which were a management company, and they were great, and they were really hardworking and well-meaning, but they didn't have a lot of their own money. And so they were just like footing the bill up until the time that the big check came in, and like. Said eventually one day, like the big check was just not going to come, and our international people said, like, no, we can't write you this money, and so we shut down. And so we had 24 hours to find $5.5 million, and so
which is a movie in its own.
Yes,
I think that's Brewster's Millions with Richard Pryor and John Candy.
And so one of the important lessons I learned in Go is that you need three kinds of producers. You need the producer who's like the peacemaker, the one who's like sues everybody over, like gets the actress to come out of her trailer. You need the one who's like really good at like logistics and production and like making sure you're making your days. And you need like just like the crazy psychopath guy.
Yeah.
And so fortunately, Paul Rosenberg was like the crazy psychopath guy. And so he and I were just like, we're just gonna call everybody we know and get the money to make the movie. And so
$5.5 million. Wow.
And so we went back to Sony.
That's a lot now. Like that hasn't dissipated. It's not like, well, back then that was a lot of money. No. Now I don't know how you would raise that.
So.
You're going to tell us.
So a lot of people had read the script and liked the script, but they passed on it because, like, well, we don't know how to make this R-rated movie with teenagers, and it feels too risky and too dangerous. Like, couldn't she be really cute when she takes her glasses off? Like, they wanted all this sort of movie stuff that we couldn't do in our movie.
Is there a talking dog?
A talking dog would have solved all our problems.
I like ecstasy. And then you met them halfway with the talking cat reading the kid's mind when he was tripping balls.
Completely.
Xerxes starts with an X.
Absolutely. So we get to so we go back to Sony, who really liked the thing, and by this point we had this young cast that actually meant something to Sony, and so Sony said, like, yeah, this is interesting to us. Like, we like these young people. We like Scott Wolf, and so Scott Wolf was the reason why we were able to raise $5.5 million, because like people like him were incredibly valuable
From Party of Five.
for Party of Five.
Like
Scott
now,
Wolf, yeah,
why isn't he doing stuff? He's so good.
he was just on V, and he was good on V.
Oh, he was on V?
He was on V.
I
Yeah.
don't watch a lot. I watch like Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Yeah, see,
Religiously.
yeah.
In the Clubhouse with Andy Cohen, the Bravo Clubhouse.
Yeah, if you could combine the two of them, I think if you could put him on Real Housewives, it'd be kind of amazing.
If I put Scott Wolf on the Real
Yeah,
Housewives of New
Scott
Jersey,
Wolf
he's
finally-
from West Orange. He's
Yeah.
a Jersey guy like me.
And he kind of finally grew out of his boyishness. I mean, he was
Really?
a boy for so long, and he finally just he got past it.
I saw Chad Lowe at the dog groomer, and
Yeah.
he's not outgrown the Chad Lowe, like that beauty, that ethereal Lowe beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Like but Rob Lowe has like the stubble, and when you see Rob Lowe, you go, like, this is the like hottest guy I've ever seen in my life. My wife and I were at, you know where Tiffany is on Rodeo Drive,
Mm-hmm.
and you park underneath for all those shops, and this fucker pulls up in a Range Rover. There's a valet. He just goes past it and just pulls like willy-nilly and just gets out. Like, doesn't give anybody his fucking key. Like, I'm Rob Lowe. But watching him go from his car to the elevator, like, my mouth hung open, like, wow, like the inner Rob Lowe-ish. John Stamos has it too, where you go, why are you selling yogurt? You're the fucking hottest guy I've ever seen in my life. But Chad Lowe never got like the cool, like, gray streaks and whiskers that like his brother got.
Yeah, the
But
little patina that knocks it down a little bit and it makes it like immortal. Yeah.
you got to be a little, when you start getting gray, you tend to get hot. I think you get better looking. Guys have it really good that way. Like when Alec Baldwin got older and fat, you go, fucking hot, fat Alec Baldwin is way better than skinny, twink, hairy Alec Baldwin. This is way better. But you're telling me Scott has now actually aged well.
He's aged well and appropriately, and so he's doing fine, I'm sure. But I haven't seen him since this movie happened too. I don't think I talked to him.
Sarah Polley,
I have seen, and Sarah
and
Polley's
she
awesome.
directed an incredible Academy Award-nominated performance. Was Jill Clayburgh?
Yeah. No, who was that?
She's-
Away from her.
Away from her. Who was it?
No, Julie Christie.
Julie Christie.
Yeah.
That's close.
Yeah, so I
had the
saw her
J.
at Sundance when her movie was up there, and I was up there with my movie.
Great movie.
Yeah.
And I think Sarah Polley, you'll tell me if I'm way off base with this. I think Sarah Polley's biggest regret in life is she wasn't the guy in front of the tank in Tiananmen Square.
Sarah Polley is a rabble-rouser, and I loved her for that. We had to walk her through security for immigration because she tried to get on a plane to fly down to be in our movie, and they kept stopping her because she'd had such a history of run-ins
Protests?
with protests. And
She's somebody that doesn't like the man.
But
Very
she's
good actress.
awesome.
Yeah.
And so she was worthwhile too. So between Sarah Polley, who had just been in the Bus movie,
Where All the Kids Die?
yeah, she'd just been in that, and Scott Wolf, and so
The Bus movie.
the Bus movie, yeah. So that was enough of a package that we were able to go to Sony, and they said, yeah, I think we can make this work. And so it became the bank, and they wrote us a check for $5.5 million over time to make the movie. Sony did.
Wait, was Sarah Polley in Final Destination?
Not Final Destination. We're talking the Canadian Bus movie where
It's a
drowns.
tiny movie where like an actual bus goes underwater and the
Big-
kids
yeah,
drown.
Yeah, and she's one of the survivors.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought you meant.
Yeah,
and then
so
when
she's looking
Corey
up.
said Final Destination, I went, "What are the odds you're in two bus movies and everyone dies in both?"
Yes. But by the way, did you see Sarah Polley in Dawn of the Dead? She's awesome in Dawn of the Dead.
She was great,
Yeah.
and that was a great movie.
Yeah.
Was Ving Rhames? Was that the one where they're all in the
Yeah,
mall?
I feel like it's Ving Rhames is in that too, but it's in the mall certainly.
I'm
and
pretty fucking far from okay.
It's good stuff.
So
Have you been
Sony.
in a show with Ving Rhames? It feels like you would be in a show with Ving Rhames.
All right, I'm
Like
going to tell you.
a buddy partner comedy.
I'm going
thing.
to tell you the conversation I had with Ving Rhames
All right.
backstage at an Oscar De La Hoya's Night of Champions at the Shrine Auditorium.
That's a boxing thing.
Yes. Ving Rhames is there, and he's going to present, and I'm talking to Ving Rhames, and Rayford Johnson, a great Olympian of our lovely country, is there, and there's other fighters. It's very classy. It's black tie. And I was just on the road. I was in Phoenix, Arizona at Stand Up Live, and I had just seen Ving Rhames, by chance, in a very tiny, very black movie called Baby Boy with Tyrese, and Ving Rhames is the guy with 2 strikes on him that walks around the house in a weightlifting belt and has sex with Tyrese's mother. and it's just a full. And then Tyrese, do you know this movie?
No, I know of it. Yeah.
It's really good. Tyrese and Ving Rhames butt heads the whole movie, and then towards the end of the movie, Tyrese says something to Ving Rhames, and Ving Rhames like plays it off, and then as like Tyrese goes to eat his breakfast, Ving Rhames comes up behind him and puts him like in a chokehold, and it's the scariest shit because he does it